Thank you so much, Fertility Show Africa, for giving me the opportunity to have this conversation. The topic for today is undergoing fertility treatments while working full-time. Infertility is said to impact 1 in 8 or 1 in 7 or even 1 in 6, depending on what country you actually live in. And many times workplaces do not have a fertility policy in place to support people trying to conceive. Fertility treatments can be actually very time consuming. When you narrow down from reviewing several clinics and actually choosing one, you can have appointments almost every single day. Appointments at the clinic to do blood work, to do scans for monitoring, and also have monitorings with the nurse as well. And many of these appointments had to be done during work hours. Some of the friends I've spoken to had to actually book appointments as early as 7 a.m. before going to work. And this, of course, would only apply if your clinic is open that early. In other times, if clinic is not open that time, you might have to look at lunch times to go to the clinic. And just because you have an appointment for a scheduled time doesn't mean you'll see the nurse or actually have the scan at that exact time. There might be some delays of waiting at the clinic, which means this will translate into more delays impacting what time you actually return to work. So you might end up being late at work. This might be the second time this week, or the third time, or the fourth time. So your manager and coworkers are already looking at you, wondering what's going on. Are you actually slacking off? Are you taking your work seriously? And this is because they don't understand what is happening because you haven't told them. But many people that are actually working have concerns about telling their employers about fertility treatments. Firstly, for so many, fertility and infertility issues are deemed to be very private. People don't want others to know they're struggling to conceive. There's still so much taboo and stigma attached to infertility, so people don't want to talk about it. In other cases, people wonder, if I tell my manager or coworkers about the fact that I'm going through fertility treatments, will that impact my career? Would I be overlooked for that promotion? Because people might say, well, you know, her mind, he's focused on so many other things right now, or his mind is focused on so many things right now. So you might feel like you'll be overlooked for that promotion or for that important special project. So people don't want to tell. Some people are also concerned if they do tell at work, will it be kept confidential? Will it become the next office gossip? These are some of the concerns that people have. And then don't tell the workplace about the fertility treatments they're having. But the fact that the time needed for fertility treatments and even the stress, the emotion can impact the person so much, it is important that workplaces are aware so they can actually provide adequate support. Moving on to the workplaces, are workplaces equipped and ready to support people trying to conceive? It's important that workplaces provide a supportive space, that people actually get educated in the first place, because the reality is that when we're all younger, we're told, don't have sex, you'll get pregnant. It was made to seem like everyone could get pregnant anytime you wanted, but this is not the reality. Getting pregnant isn't that easy for many people. Staying pregnant isn't that easy. So sometimes people have to consider fertility treatments. So there needs to be that education at work. There needs to be training from fertility experts, from coaches, so that managers have an understanding what infertility could feel like for someone dealing with it, what fertility treatments could feel like, how time-consuming it is, the fact that it doesn't always work. So because an employee did all of that and scans and appointments and treatments in 1 month, doesn't mean they might not need the same time 2 months down the line. People need to have that understanding. Workplaces need to find the resources and make employees aware of it. Maybe even in the company intranet, support spaces for people that are trying to conceive, fertility policies in place, maybe even peer support group within the workplace, other people that might have experienced it and can support the person going through infertility at that time. So that's really important. But it's also important that employees also offer flexibility. One of the things we've learned from COVID and the pandemic is the fact that many things can be done from work, from home. Many of us had to work from home during COVID. We had no choice. So employers providing flexibility can really go a long way in supporting employees that are struggling to conceive. And in addition, of course, also letting people know that it's a safe space to have that conversation, creating fertility awareness days. We're used to companies having Mother's Day, Father's Day, Bring Your Child Day to work, but also start including fertility awareness days so that people know what to say, how to support their colleagues that are currently dealing with infertility. This is a starting point for us all, employees and employers, to work together to provide a supportive space for people that are trying to conceive. We can also have surveys, engagements with employees who ask, what can we do better as a workplace? How can we better support you? I think traditionally, workplaces have focused on providing support to people that have been successful in family planning. They focus on providing parental leave, work-life balances for people that are parents or people that are about to become parents. But what about people that are struggling to conceive? Workplaces also need to start finding ways to support them, creating an inclusive space. The more inclusive and supportive space and culture that we have in the workplace, the better supported everyone, every employee will be. Thank you so much, Fertility Show Africa, for having me here to start this conversation. But let's keep the conversation going. The more we do this, the more we have these conversations in our workplaces, in our homes, in our societies, the better that everyone will feel and the less stigma that will be attached to infertility and loss.
7 years.
8 years.
I did fall pregnant and I had a miscarriage.
It was the worst pain in my life.
I'm destined to be a mother.
You have to become our world.
We can't be silent about it.
Women don't want to talk about this. But what if we put our problems there for everyone to see, to help other people?
The Salome range of products tackle issues of infertility, menstrual pain and heavy menstrual bleeding.